Welcome to Transmissions, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, the B Plus team talks their favorite top 5 toy figures of all time. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Mike, and I am joined by the excellent Transmissions B Plus team. Fantastically illustrative fan artist Apollo.
Hi, everyone.
And the illustrious and sometimes illustrated Dr. Pants.
It's correct this time, and hello, everyone.
I just realized that I have never been illustrated. No, I am sorry. I am incorrect. I have been illustrated once. Yes, once.
I was going to say, don't you have an icon for Transmissions? It's like your face or something?
I do, but I'm talking about some artwork that, oh man, I forget. I feel so bad. I forget the artist's name who did like our artwork, the faces and everything for us.
Was it K-Girl?
Yes. Thank you. My apologies, K-Girl. But K-Girl did a piece where with the original 4 hosts, and she tossed me in there, like in the audio booth in the background, just like an angry face yelling at them.
I remember that. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was certainly a while ago. I still have the artwork.
Oh, well, you can't get rid of something like that.
No, you can't. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been illustrated beyond that. What about you, Apollo? Did you do like a self-portrait at some point? You must have, right?
Yeah, I have more than once. So.
See, I actually had, when I was in art school, I had to do a self-portrait too, but it came out so bad that I did not like it. So I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I even had someone, I got a commission of someone drawing me as a Pokemon master, and I was like doing like the Pokemon pose, like sending my Pokemon in the battle, but it was my first dog.
Awesome.
It's just a yellow lab, so it's one of my favorite drawings of me, and I didn't even do it. So.
That is great. I love it. I need to have like the next time I go to a convention, I need to have someone do just a quick commission of me in some neat pose or doing something cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we didn't come here to talk about Pokemon, although I did start playing Pokemon Violet, and we got to talk about that.
I'm good with that. Let's talk Pokemon. Can we see it? Pokemon tattoo. I'm a Pokemon fan. We can talk later.
I too.
No, what we're doing today is we are going to talk about our top 5 favorite toys of all time. And I know this is going to be a big stretch for a lot of us because I think most of us have been collecting for a good number of years. Paulo, I think you've been collecting the shortest amount of time of all of us.
Yeah, since 2017.
But even then, that's still 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think we all have a really kind of a lot of thoughts about our favorite figures, what makes a figure our favorite, what we like about it, and just what it takes for us to call something our favorite figure or the best figures in our collection. So a couple of quick rules to start off with. Only doing official things, so no third parties right now. If we get some time, we'll talk about some third party stuff later. No masterpiece stuff right up front because it's very easy to just go, well, masterpiece is like the best version to some of these characters. So, I see that, Dr. Pants. But for the most part, it's like if we had masterpiece in there on the list, I think it would kind of weight it a little bit more towards masterpiece. So for our first pass through this, the first 5 here, we're gonna keep the third party, keep the masterpiece stuff out of the way, and we're only going to talk about official Hasbro releases, mainline releases. It could be Generations, could be any of the show lines that came out. Anything at all, just as long as it's official Hasbro mainline release. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our number 5s.
5.
For my number 5, of course, we're starting at the end on this one. And if you guys have like the figures kind of there, like with you, and you want to show it off, cool, go for it. If you don't, I'll go ahead and I'll toss up some artwork for all the viewers here. So all of you out there in listener land and viewer land, don't worry, you'll see what we're talking about. So number 5 for me is the Trigger Happy and Metal Hawk molds from Titan's Return. The one I had the easiest access to was the Metal Hawk one from the Siege on Cybertron set.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes, okay. And I absolutely love this figure. I will say I wish that it wasn't a headmaster. Doesn't really need it for it. But the actual like transformation, the look, the jet mode on this guy, so good. Love him. Love him. And to be fair, all of the figures that used this guy's like skeleton as a base mold, the Misfire and the Slugslinger, if I remember correctly, they if I remember, were they the same mold or the
I
same
think
skeleton?
Misfire was. I don't know if
Mhm.
Slugslinger was. If it did use the same skeleton, it was heavily modified.
I want to say it. I want to say it was. 'Cause I know a lot of the Titans Return stuff did do the sets
Yeah.
like that, but I could be mistaken. Either way, I know for a fact, Trigger Happy, Metal Hawk, we got those 2.
Mhm.
The jet mode on this, I love it. The transformation, very, very intuitive, very easy to follow. And robot mode looks beautiful in pretty much every side. I will say the back legs are a little on the hollow side, but also they kind of fold in on each other, so not the worst thing in the world. But it's lacking a lot of the hollowness that a lot of figures in that line did have. So this one's mine, number 5. Titans Return, Trigger Happy, and Metal Hawk.
It's a good figure. It's a really good
Yeah.
figure. I'm jealous you have the Metal Hawk version because, like, we don't have a U.S. Metal Hawk really.
Mm-mm.
So
We had that one, and we had
it
one
was
of the Pretender guys.
yeah, it was the Pretender shell.
Yeah.
Well, so there is the little Prime Master we got.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But there was also, I don't know if it was a collector's club or a Generations toy. It was a repaint of the um Thunderwing Generations toy, and it was of his Pretender shell again. It was not like the actual inner robot. So that's the only time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the only time we've gotten like a Metal Hawk inner robot figure in America. But still, jealous, but a good figure.
Yeah, it's really cool looking. So thanks for sharing that.
I'll go next, and my number 5, and thank God Daryl's not here because I'd get flack for this, but I'm gonna pull from the Unicron trilogy because you know what? I think they're fun and awesome. So I've got Cybertron, Megatron, and
Ooh.
so I didn't get this figure up until like 2-3 years ago, but I absolutely adore this figure. It is big. He's a big chunky boy. Everything's like ratcheted and chunky. He is so impressive looking. Like the colors are an assault on all of your senses. It's not your typical Megatron. He doesn't turn into a gun or a tank. Instead, he turns into one of the most ridiculous space age looking cars ever, and I love it. Plus, he is loaded up with gimmicks. He's got the whole Cyber Planet key thing, which will activate an engine, do sounds. He's got hidden weapons in these 2 things in the back that form the sides of the car, and his little gun spins.
Ooh.
It's a little Gatling gun.
That's
Also,
awesome.
Oh, I love that.
look at that face. Look at that light piped face
Mm.
with those big horns. It's just, this is what the kind of toy I would have loved if it had come out when I was a little kid. But I think Cybertron came out in 2007, so I was like 21. Or no, I'm sorry, that was animated. This came out in 2005, so yeah, I was like 19, so not a kid anymore per se. But like, I would have loved this. It's just a big, cool toy to play with. It's a cool display piece. I love it. I love this.
Not gonna lie, if I had my Unicron trilogy stuff still hanging around, that
Mhm.
might have been a good contender for the short list for this.
I I am shocked at how cool that figure was. Like I said, I got it recently because I started collecting the Cybertron trilogy or the Unicron trilogy, and like that blew my mind with how cool it was. I love to transform it back and forth. It's just a lot of fun. It is technically a triple changer, but only technically. The
Oh.
jet mode is bullcrap.
Okay. No, that's a really impressive figure. I love the colors and the gimmick with the gun. That's really cool.
I really wish they would go back and do that design again. I think that would be really, really cool, but I don't know if it'll ever happen.
It might be neat. It's just that's gonna be a pricey figure.
I could see them doing it as like a commander class figure,
Hmm.
kind of
Mhm.
like Jetfire or Skylinks, make it bigger and make it more complicated. Plus, it's
Yep.
got the gimmicks. So,
Yeah. All right. So this is my number 5 pick. So mine is the Netflix War for Cybertron deep cover.
Ooh.
So I know that the battle damage, we had the talk a few months ago talking about the War for Cybertron toy line, and this mold, which has been used, I think, on 10 or 11 different figures now, is so much fun to transform, and it's so easy to do. Like, I love it. I think the alt mode looks really cool. I like this color combination the best. What I like about this one with the battle damage is that they fully embraced it. Like, even the Autobot logo has battle damage,
ooh,
whereas
okay.
like the side swipe version of this
Huh.
doesn't. And I have the side swipe one like over here too. And I was looking at it earlier, but I just think this is like a really cool color combination, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that's what a transformer should be is it should be fun to play with these things and transform them. And yeah, there's not a lot of empty parts on here. Like you mentioned that earlier, Mike. A lot of the
Hmm.
newer stuff has empty parts. There's like a little gap here, like in his ankle. But yeah, so that is my number 5.
That's a really good example of like a modern toy that is simple, fun, and like still looks great. The side swipe looks like side swipe,
Hmm.
but it's so well done. And I like that mold a lot too. I like that. I don't have a whole lot of siege left, but I hung on to my side swipe.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
have I have the side swipe and the the gigawatt because they use the same mold for that one,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I have for that mold. But yeah, it is a sexy figure. Love the colors on that one. That deep
Yeah.
like the only way like I could describe that is like a deep kind of crimson, like red,
Hmm.
but in blue. That's the
Hmm.
Yeah,
best way of doing it.
that is such a good color on that toy too. I love blue. It's my favorite color, and I'm like, maybe I should have gotten that one. But
Yeah, because like I have the side swipe here. May as well do a quick comparison. This is what you said, like, oh, it's gonna go longer. But see, he has the damage, but like his logo is fine. But just
it's the damage is on his knees. That's it.
yeah,
It's on his shins.
yeah. They didn't fully commit. And then like I think just the blue on this is a lot better, like than
Yeah.
the red on this one.
4.
For my number 4, I am going to do a deep pull, coming back for a while here. And I am going to talk about War for Cybertron Optimus, not the Siege one, the old game from High Moon Studios, that figure. Now, I absolutely love this mold because it is a really great looking prime and it is super complicated to transform, and I love it. It's got so many little panels and stuff, but it has just enough to make it complicated, but not so much that you're trying to fiddle around with trying to get panels to fit into sections like later masterpiece stuff. It's just at that line where it's just below too much. I love this figure. I love the transformation on him. I've done it so much that his legs are unfortunately getting a little bit loosey, which is
Oh,
kind of sad. I know, because I love it so much. Actually, I love the design and the mold of this figure so much that I went out and got an oversized white version of this, like a knockoff white version of this guy with like the big like axe on it, and ooh, so beautiful. But I made the rule that we can't show third party right now.
Mm, mm.
Mhm.
But I absolutely love this figure. It is so complicated and so just so detailed and so much neat stuff in there. And this also did kind of come from an era that didn't really have a lot of hollowness or any kind of gappiness to it too. So there's a lot of really really great design work happening on here.
Mm.
War for Cybertron Prime.
What I dare anyone to find a deluxe figure that is more complex than that, because that's a
Mhm.
deluxe and the transformation is mind blowing. How much goes into that?
It is incredibly well designed. I when the second game, when Fall Cybertron came out, I was like anticipating the figures on that so much because a lot of the war figures were really complicated and really intricate. But when they went to the Fall line, they lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
Uh, in I guess to make it a little bit more like screen accurate, I guess. But
Mm,
Hmm.
something was certainly lost on the second one there.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that design of that toy. Like, and just in general, the War for Cybertron video game designs are just really cool and they're really unique. Like, it's not like your typical truck Optimus. This is like, he's like a Cybertronian truck, right, in that game. So,
Yep.
And
but like, it's just really cool.
the alt mode doesn't have a windshield or anything either. It's like completely sealed up, which makes sense because who's gonna be in it? No
Yep.
one. It doesn't need a windshield.
Exactly.
It was such a good design. And that head sculpt with the really long ears. Oh, I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
love that design so much.
Look at that beefy boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
and still yet not as beefy as he was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's be honest, his shoulders were hurting in that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. And if anyone has the chance to actually get like one of like the knockoff versions, like the oversized knockoff versions of that figure, it is just delightful.
I might have to. I mean, I have that one, but I
Mhm.
kind of I want a big one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'll go with my number 4 and Apollo. I snuck a peek, so I think we should
Mhm.
just do it together because
Yeah, let's
both
do
of
it
us
together.
picked Netflix Soundwave.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Soundwave is my favorite character, and I own a lot of Soundwave figures. And to pick one that was an official release and not a masterpiece, this had to be the best one.
Mhm.
It's so good. He looks like Soundwave. He transforms into a tape deck, and no siege smudging.
Yes.
And the only hollow bits are in the arms. So we're going to talk about hollow bits. That's the only part. The legs are nice and solid, and I love the fact that door just flies open,
Mhm.
smooth as butter.
Damn, I feel like I should have picked that for my number 4 then.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know.
We could have been twinsies.
It could have been twins. I realize he's missing his little shoulder gun on mine. It's packed away somewhere. But yeah, this was my number 4 too. We talked a few months ago about War for Cybertron stuff, the Netflix show, and this is a really good toy. It is so impressive, like for what you want out of a transformer. Like, and it not being a masterpiece either is like what you said, Dr. Pants, and just like
It's
it's just really well thought out. And like, yeah, his little tape deck opens and his little cassettes can sit in there and
Do you have
just looks good.
who's in yours? Because I've got Laserbeak in mine.
Ravage is in mine. So, but
So there we go.
yeah, but no, it's just so cool. Like, and there's none of the battle damage, which was hit or miss with the siege line. And I remember this toy being super hard to get too. So when I finally saw it in the store, I was like, oh, I got to get this. So Yeah.
As a Soundwave fan, I made it a mission. It's like, I have to find one of these. This needs
Mhm.
to exist in my collection.
Mhm.
I did want to bring one thing up though, because I did not put a lot of more recent stuff on my top 5 list, as we'll see. This I do think has a really great feel to it though. I feel like a lot of recent figures, even without the hollowness, I feel like the plastic doesn't feel as chunky or as
Mhm.
sturdy, but this guy feels super solid. He feels
Mm.
great, and I love it. And that's one thing that I really like about this figure. It's fun and super playable too, and he's really nice to pose.
Mhm.
I almost did the shattered glass version
Ooh.
because I really like it, but you cannot beat a classic looking Soundwave.
Mhm.
So
That's fair.
yeah.
I found mine at Baltimore. Was it
Oh,
last year? Yeah, yeah, last year.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you come Baltimore. Yeah, last year.
Mhm.
I never saw it in stores. I did
Aw.
eventually get him,
Mhm.
and I think the reason he's not on my list is because uh, he was just a little bit too recent, and he hasn't kind of like sat like the test of time for me yet.
Hmm.
Maybe in a couple of years, something will get knocked off, but yeah, I do agree. It is a very solid, very good figure. And in mine, I have the purple guy from that 4-pack.
Oh, so I think they called that one Rumble.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, the bird thing, the purple bird,
Oh.
Rat Bat.
Oh.
not Rat Bat. That was from the
Wait,
2-pack.
the
There
purple
was a there
Oh,
was a 4-pack.
I'm sorry. Scar.
Is this Scar? Okay,
It's
yeah,
Scar. It's
'cause Wing Thing is the orange one, right?
yeah, Wing Thing's the orange one. The purple one is Scar because it's the Decepticon Power Master for Double Dealer.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Took me a
Yeah.
minute. Took me a minute, but no, great figure. And like between this and the Shattered Glass one, it's great. It kills me a little that they reissued Soundwave and Legacy, and it wasn't this one.
I know.
It's just a spaceship, and it doesn't look like anything.
Yeah, I agree. I just saw that in the store the other day, the Legacy one. And I was looking at it and I'm like, this is just the Siege one re-released, huh?
Yep.
Which I'd gotten rid of. So
Oh, I kept
yeah.
mine. It goes in the Soundwave collection because it's still
Yeah.
a Soundwave,
Hmm.
but the Netflix one sits in front. He is more
Yeah.
prominent.
Yeah. Yes. Overall, really good toy. So very loved.
Oh yes, and it's fun, and that
Hmm.
I should bring that up. That one of my big criteria with all of my figures is they have to be fun to play with and like handle. Like I'm not worried anything's gonna fall off of it or I'm gonna break it.
Hmm.
And it's got gimmicks. Soundwave has one of the coolest gimmicks in Transformers with the tape decks.
Yes.
So
Awesome. Well, I guess that brings us over to 3. My number 3 is a biggin. Is a biggin, and that is Earthrise Skylinks. I absolutely, absolutely love this figure. I can't sing his praises enough. I know people who hate Skylinks, who think Skylinks is an awful character and should die. I don't agree with them. The Earthrise Skylinks, though, massive, massive, big, chunky guy over here. Does not have any of like the gimmicks from Combiner Wars, because I know they did the Skylinks in Combiner Wars, which was it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good for what it was. But then Earthrise came up with this beautiful, beautiful boy over here, and I could not be happier. Look at this guy.
it,
He's a good
it,
boy.
he deserves all the pats. He's
Yes.
a good boy.
He's a good boy.
I have no
Happy.
attachment to Skylinks, but I love that figure too. It's such an impressive piece. It's very well articulated.
Hmm.
And it's fun. It's got
Mhm.
such cool stuff going on. It has one of the best base modes for a Transformer. It didn't need to have it. And it has a base mode that's really cool.
Hmm.
Oh, and he's big.
Mhm.
And I love big bots.
Yes,
Can't
you
lie.
do.
You can't lie.
Wait till I get to the rest of my list.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I really, really love this figure. I have nothing bad to say about it at all, aside from maybe the price. But I got this as a gift, so you know what? I'm fine with that.
Even better.
Exactly.
Yeah. He looks so fun. Like, I don't have one yet, and, like, he just looks really fun and really sturdy too, which are good points, like, to look for in a transformer.
It's surprisingly sturdy. Even if you take the shuttle off and transform it into just like the sky mode as the bird,
Mhm.
those thin little legs are still strong enough to hold it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really impressive. It's a really good figure, and if you get a chance to get one, I recommend it.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck finding one nowadays, though.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is they're reissuing Jetfire from Siege. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a reissue of Skylinks.
Mhm.
Hmm,
So they just announced, I think, the reissue of Jetfire. So
true. Yeah. Okay. It's certainly possible. I mean, imagine they want to get the money's worth out of that mold because
I,
it's.
what would you repaint it as? Like,
I
Exactly.
know, right?
you could do maybe a toy color version where you lighten up the blue a little, but
Mhm.
anyway, my number three, we're gonna go back to the Unicron trilogy because I think the Unicron trilogy is some of the most fun and interesting figures out there. So
Mhm.
this is Energon Landmine. I
Ooh.
I love it. I love this figure. It's one of the few Energon Autobots that isn't hindered by its stupid gimmick where it has to like fold in half to combine to another robot. It's just a guy who transforms into one of the coolest vehicles ever. It is this awesome shredded truck with a giant like plow on the front of it. He's got this ridiculous backpack with a hook, a missile launcher, and he armors up by adding on like these claws because his real arms are right there. So you could take it all off and just have the robot. And he's got sounds. He makes noises. And like I think it just looks cool. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite things in a toy. The hook comes out on a little string, but then it retracts.
Ooh, that's cool.
I
The Unicron trilogy was really like bananas for gimmicks. Some of them less so than others, but when you
I
get something like that, it's like it's just such a small little detail, but it's just so nice. I do wish they made the rope longer though.
yes, I agree because it's really useless. It's just fun to be like whoop, whoop, whoop. Um I think it's a really good looking figure. Also, I love the colors. This kind of like light blue, almost purpley color with the orange and like the metallic I guess it's like a brassy color, but it's just an impressive thing. The alt mode, if I could show you, it's so cool. It's so fun to transform into. And like I was talking with the last one, like I feel like a lot of recent toys, the plastic doesn't feel as like nice and hardy. These
Mhm.
figures, that plastic is hardy. It's chunky. It feels like it's meant to be moved around and messed with. And I could play with this endlessly. Like I could transform it back and forth. I could pose him all kinds of different ways. And I love this figure so much. I want to find the recolor to add into my collection, the Landquake, because I think this is such an awesome figure. I absolutely love it. And for anyone out there who's never experienced one, like even if you don't like Energon, like give this figure a try. I think it's a lot of fun. Really, really love it.
I was just gonna say, I like the white color scheme on Landquake a little bit better than I do the orange.
I can agree a little bit with that. I think I like the white more, but I've never seen one in person.
Mm.
I saw this at a convention and it was complete, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna take this. So yeah, but yeah, that's my number three. That's Landmine. Absolutely love that toy. So cool.
I
So
love
so
his design. Like, he's not something you see every day with a Transformer figure. It's really cool with like his big arms, his claw arms, and
I
everything. It's just like really cool.
and like I said, that's like an armor up gimmick too, because otherwise, like he's just got these puny little. Oh, is that stuck?
Uh
You gonna come out?
oh. no.
Up there we go. And like he's got these puny little arms, otherwise, like
Oh,
normal
wow.
robot arms. And like
Wow.
yeah, like I can take all the armor off and just show. Here's what the normal robot looks like, and he's still kind of cool. Like I still kind of like the
Mm,
design and everything. He's got the big like pointy feet and whatnot. And then
mm,
all the extra stuff can also turn into a battle platform with a missile launcher and whatnot, or it becomes the back of the vehicle.
mhm.
It's so cool. So cool. Love it.
Energon was such a bananas time.
Mhm.
I stupidly loved the combining gimmick at the time, and now I look back and I'm like, these figures are garbage. Not all of them, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Mhm.
Uh, it was hit or miss. It was very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So my number 3 is the Titans Return Windblade. So here she is. Um,
Interesting.
I really like this figure because we don't get a lot of, we're getting now more a lot of good female figures. Like, we have Minerva that came out, and there's a few from the Velocitron line that are coming out, but like
Hmm.
before that, we never really had like any really good female Transformer figures. And the reason why I picked this is just like I think this looks like Windblade, like from the comics, from the IDW comics, from the shows that she's been in. Like I think it's just a really good representation of her, and I don't. I think her head can come off, but like I've never done that because this is something we mentioned earlier is like some toys are delicate. This one has some stress marks on it already. I don't know if these will pick up, but on both of her arms here near
Yeah.
the pin, there's stress marks. And I bought this brand new out of the box and it came like this. So,
Mm.
so I don't know how long she'll hold up over time, but I really like her, and I hope we get more figures of Windblade. The last, other than the Cyberverse toys, which weren't very good, there was that Flames toy one of her, the model kit, but that wasn't even a toy. So I hope we get to see Windblade more in the future. But for now, this is my number 3.
Very
I'm
nice.
I'm very jealous because that was from like the wave of Titans Return I never saw.
Oh,
I bought almost every Titans Return figure except for like anything in that wave because I never came across it. And I don't own a Windblade figure. I
oh no.
wanted that one, but never saw it. The only thing I'll say about it is it's a little like I imagine Windblade being a little bit like skinnier, more lithe in her proportions and whatnot. And that figure looks a little thick and bulky at times, but the alt mode looks really good, and I love the face sculpt on it. It's so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I lucked out. She was like on TF Source. Like they had her for like $20 or something ridiculous
Oh,
like that. Like, but the
Oh
box
man.
was really damaged.
oh,
No.
So,
now I'm
which
even
was
more jealous.
yeah, it was like something like that. But yeah, I think it's really hard to, get the female characters to look right and, have their alt modes look good. So I think this was a good balance of getting her to look right and then have a really cool alt mode with her jet.
Yeah,
So,
So I just had to look it up. That line had Windblade, Misfire, Twin Twist, and Slug Slinger was also, I think, it was like wave 6 of like it came out like right after it or something. And similar experience to you, Dr. Pence there. I did not see them in stores ever at all. I found Slug Slinger. I think someone helped me pick it up or something like that. And I found Twin Twist. I want to say at some online store or at a convention or something like that.
mm,
But the Windblade I never saw in stores, and I did want to pick her up too because
yeah.
I had the one from
Thrilling,
Generations.
mm-hmm.
thrilling 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I had that one, and I like it. I like it. It doesn't kind of against your point there, Dr. Pence. She's more like live, but also she feels very finicky at times.
Yeah, I think that's what happens with those figures is like if you go too skinny, too lithe with the parts, it's gonna feel finicky. But if you go too thick and clunky, the transformation gets better, but at the same time, it's not quite looking at like the character should. And the proportions are off, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yep.
But
But to your point there, Apollo, I think the only female figures that we really got before that was that first Windblade and the Generations RC, the first one that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Chromia in there somewhere. I don't recall. Like what
Chromia
the
was in the Thrilling 30s. Yeah, she
Yeah,
came out
she
around the
was.
same time.
but like literally like those were like the only three like female characters we got before we started getting like a bunch, including Windblade, including the Headmaster RC, which repaint, whatever, it's fine. But then we started getting like a lot more intentional like representation on that. So yeah, no, absolutely. I did want to pick up that figure, and it's just like I said, I never saw it in stores.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Late line stuff is just always so hard to find and so hard to get.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us off to number 2. My number 2 is one of my favorite figures of all time, and that is Reveal the Shield Jazz from Generations. I absolutely love this figure because it is, one, such a great representation of Jazz just on its own. The toy is incredibly fun to transform. He's got little speakers on his doors. It is such a small little extra gimmick they put in there, but you know what? They did, and it's amazing. It is so evocative of the G1 design, yet it is just so perfect in every way possible. They've done like I don't know how many repaints of this figure, but I know they've done a bunch. And it holds up every time because it is such an awesome base figure. But that is my number 2 pick.
Wow. That looks really good. Like I think that looks better than the Studio Series version that just came out.
That's why I skipped out on the Studio Series.
I missed the Reveal the Shield one, so I got, sadly, the Power of the Primes one.
Oh.
And then the Studio Series one. I'm not gonna lie, the Reveal the Shield one looks better. And I didn't realize, are the speakers just a gimmick? Like they're not parts for me, they're just there? Like
they can rotate around and hide behind the door in its alt mode.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Wow.
That's so cool.
I'm not doing it right, but you have to like rotate it around a little bit. But yeah, it's not partial. It doesn't just clip on, clip off. Actually, I think you can clip it off. Nope, I'm sorry, you cannot. It is pinned.
But still, I would prefer that. I don't want to like have to keep track of like a whole bunch of accessories like that. That's really cool. That's such a good looking Jazz. And I know when you ask a lot of Transformers fans like about their favorite figures, this one comes up in a lot of people's lists.
Wow.
It's a really, really, really good looking figure, and I've heard the transformation's fun. It's one of those figures, if I came across it, I'd probably pick it up. But I don't have a strong attachment to Jazz, so I haven't gone searching, but it just looks fun.
It is. And to your point from before, yeah, it should be a fun figure to transform. It should be a fun figure to mess around with, and it is in all respects. He actually has not the ankle tilts because he's a little bit too early for that, but you can kind of see how his feet are molded at a slight angle, so he can actually do like the more stable pose and still sit flat on whatever surface you put him on, and it's like just so many little tiny details like that, like all over this figure, that really makes it like one of my favorite, and one of the best figures that has ever come out.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that figure. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for one of those now.
I see him at cons every now and again, and he's usually reasonably priced too. Like I saw him in a couple of like the under table bins for like $20 or $30 or something like that. He's really reasonably priced.
That's reasonable for a figure like that. And I think it has to do with the fact that with the Studio Series coming out and it being more screen accurate, some people are going to go for that. All right. My number 2, I got to go under the table because he's too big to leave on the desk.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
All right.
Another big
Whoa.
bot.
Whoa, hey, this is a kid show, Dr. Pants. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's do another one that's not Unicron trilogy, but it predates it a little bit. Let's do
Oh.
RID 2001 Omega Prime.
Ooh.
That's slightly cheating because that's 2 figures.
He's combined.
Okay, you want to know the real reason I picked this one? It's because I didn't want to have to disassemble it to get out the Optimus Prime figure out of it. Because oh my god,
That's fair.
like I got the RID 2001 Optimus Prime back when that series was out. I love that figure. Excuse me. Fire truck with lights and sounds. He does the armor up thing. He's got firing missiles. He's got a base mode. He's got all this stuff. But then you get Ultra Magnus and you get this lovely conglomeration of 2 giant Transformers that just creates something so magical. And I love it. And it's got rubber tires. It's big. It's clunky. It's ratcheted all over the place.
It's as big as a small child.
It's as big as a small child.
Yes.
Like, this is my son.
Yes.
This is my son. And like it's chromed out. Look at that shine on there. I love this kind of stuff. It's so cool. It's so much fun to play with. And it is 2 figures. You're right. I don't care. It creates one really impressive display piece that is just so much fun to play with. And one of the dumbest things about it I love is in the cartoon when Optimus and Ultra Magnus combined, they would like shake hands, like clasp hands. And that is exactly how Optimus Prime is like holding on to these bigger hands. Is there's a smaller hand holding on to another interior hand.
Oh.
And it's just, I love it. I love it so much. It's just so much fun. And I don't remember how to make the sounds happen. Wish I could do it, but I don't remember how it works.
The
Oh.
Ultra Magnus is a little bit parch formery for my liking.
But
I-
he is.
I will agree, he needs to be because of all the combination stuff that's going on. So there needed to be some sacrifices made in one of the molds in order to get the better looking combined mode. And
Right.
I understand that. It makes sense.
Yeah. Now I will say that if you only like pick one of the 2, the Optimus Prime figure is stellar. Like that RID 2001 Optimus Prime figure is absolutely amazing. I love it. One of my favorite Optimus Prime designs. I honestly wish he was a fire truck more often. I think it's been 3 times in the history. Like, do it more. Do it more. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it has ankle tilt. It's a 2001 figure with ankle tilt.
Yes.
Yep.
So, just amazing. Just amazing. Absolutely love it.
It's a fun choice.
It's a fun era of figures. Like
Mhm.
the early 2000s, honestly, I think gave us some of the most fun figures with like some of the coolest gimmicks.
Mhm.
It's all from Japan. Japan gave us the good stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I actually have not to brag, I actually have 2 of those because I had intended on buying one to do like a repaint, like a custom of, that just never materialized. So I have a Prime and a Magnus up on my like RID section, and then I have that combined guy on the shelf, like up there with all the rest of the giant oversized Titans.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big boy, but he does fit on my RID shelf, so he's okay. He's okay.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like that they had the rubber tires on there. It's a really nice detail.
The only issue is now when you go back and try and get those figures, it's hard to get them with the rubber tires because so many of them cracked and broke.
Mhm.
And honestly, on this one, I think one of the tires has a small crack in it.
Oh.
It's either that or it's a seam line. I don't want to mess with it too much to find out, but it is cool. I'm not one to care about rubber tires too much, but when they're on there, it's like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how you would preserve that though.
Mm-mm.
I don't either. Just don't mess with it as much, or I don't know. Like, you could argue that if you kept it in like away from moisture and stuff, I think it would have a bigger impact. But also at the same time, like if it gets too dry, it's gonna crack.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Mhm.
I mean, I would think with rubber, you want to like moisten it a little bit, just like every.
Just give it a spritz.
Yeah.
Like it's a house plant. Like, here you go. Squishy
Yeah.
little.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, so my number two figure is Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. So
Ooh.
I really, really like this figure a lot. Like when he first came out, I was like immediately impressed, and I'm like, I think this might be my favorite figure that I own at the time, which is crazy because I'm a huge Starscream fan. It's like, wait, what? But I just think they put so much thought into his design and keeping it true to the 86 movie. There's really like no hollow parts on him, which is something that they do now a lot in the newer toys, and which is surprising. But I think his face sculpt looks really good. I think it's really fun to transform him into his vehicle mode. It's just like really impressive. I wish more Transformers when they came out were with this level of quality, but this is Studio Series and it's Hot Rod. He's the main character in the movie, so of course they're going to give him that much detail. So
That is a really solid choice.
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Absolutely.
It's a very good figure. It's very posable. A lot of fun to play with.
Mhm. Yeah, and he comes with like his little like saw, like I was gonna call it a pizza slicer for a
It
second,
is. It
but
basically
like in
is.
his little goggles. I think there's these goggles in his head that you can like pull out. I'm not gonna do that though. Knowing me, I'll break it by accident. But yeah, he's a lot of fun, and I really like the '86 movie. So
Did he come with the fishing rod, or am I misremembering that?
mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
Was
I
that
don't think
Masterpiece?
so.
The Masterpiece did. And the thing is I actually got rid of my Masterpiece Hot Rod when I got that figure because the
Wow.
Studio Series one is better.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. For like, if you've never handled the Masterpiece, it's cool, but honestly, the Studio Series kind of benefits from having a fake chest because the
Mm-hmm.
real chest is too boxy, and the Masterpiece ends up with a huge backpack. And
Yeah.
it's like, eh.
The
So
Masterpiece one you have, is that the Hasbro one that came out, or is that the newer one?
that was the
Which
newer one.
the newer one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, not the one that was Rodimus. It was like the actual hot rod.
Okay.
Yeah. It did come with all the accessories and whatnot, and it was cool, but I mean the Studio Series does a lot of things it did with like the flip out goggles
Mm-hmm.
and the saw blade and everything, and it's a better
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah.
It is really, really good. That Studio Series hot rod is fantastic. The Kingdom Rodimus is good too.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Kingdom Rodimus.
The Commander one?
Yeah.
Yep.
The transformation on the car mode is really, really fun. I like it. His face sculpt needs a little work though.
Yes, I agree.
He's so tired.
Yeah.
Paula, that is the second one that you've pulled out that I have never had and never messed with.
Oh, wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had
Ooh.
I've either have or had all the ones you have so far, Dr. Pence.
Wow.
You owe it to yourself to at least experience a Studio Series hot rod. That figure is really, really good.
I think I passed on them because I have a G1 reissue. I have the Titans Return one. I have the Classics one. I have the
Mhm.
original Masterpiece one,
Ooh.
and I now have the Kingdom one, but that didn't come out before then. So
Mhm.
Well, they're doing a repaint of him in Velocitron, so you could always grab that one.
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
One.
Now you two may be able to guess what my number one is because I think I mentioned it the last time we did a show together.
Yeah.
But it is going to be the Generations Thrilling 30 Springer.
Ooh.
I absolutely love this figure. It is better than any other Springers out there, hands down. And it is the, at least in my opinion, it is the best Transformers figure out there. It is super posable. It is super fun. It looks amazing. It is just an incredibly good looking figure and fun figure to transform and mess with. he turned into like a couple of different. They made a couple of different repaints of him too. Like I have the Sandstorm one that they did, the orange one with like the VTOL
Mhm.
like wings.
Mhm.
They did something else too
They did the cloud version of Hot Rod,
yep.
and they did a Collectors Club or BotCon Battle Trap.
Right. Right.
I don't know if there was any other one.
But this is just an amazing, amazing figure. It is completely solid. There is no gaps or anything on here. Even like the section where his hand kind of rotates in, they covered that up with the part of like the helicopter canopy roof thing. So you don't see any gaps or anything on it. Completely solid, very posable, just an amazing, amazing figure. Go on, Dr. Pan. Tell me why you
I
hate
feel
it.
bad because I talk that figure down, and I'm pretty sure it's because I got a bad one. Because mine was not
Oh.
solid, it was loose, it would
Oh,
never clip
no.
together right.
No.
The one
Oh.
thing I will say is I think the gun is awful. The gun is stupid. The double barrel, like the friction launcher thing.
Okay. It's not as well integrated as other weapons are. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, it's also I don't feel like it fits in with that figure as well, because that figure is kind of like like it feels too big and clunky for what that figure is. Plus, it doesn't mimic Springer's weapons from anything ever.
That's fair.
But the figure does look really good. It is a very good IDW Springer.
Mhm.
And I will say that like there's a lot of ratcheting on it. The transformation is very cool and interesting. I just got a bad one. I prefer the Siege mold, specifically the Wreckers one they released. It's the toy colored version.
Okay.
Only because it looks more like the G1 cartoon version, both in robot mode and alt mode, and I like that design better. But what you have there is a very good figure and was at the like when it released, like top tier Transformer figure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I will never buy another Springer figure because I already have the best Springer figure.
okay, now come on.
He doesn't
Well, I
have
feel
battle damage.
exactly right.
The
Well, I
Wreckers
feel
one
good.
doesn't. He's fine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they did that re-release of the War for Cybertron one.
I bought it just because it didn't have battle damage.
Mm.
I feel the same way about the Jazz. Like I don't need to buy like another Jazz figure or
Mhm.
anything. Like I am 100% satisfied with that one. And the same thing with Springer. I get that it's more of the IDW like design for it, but that's also kind of what they were doing at the time.
If that's what you want, that's that's great. I
Mhm.
also am doing the Studio Series 86 like animation style shelf, and sadly that Thrilling 30 Springer ain't gonna fit in there.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah. But
Very true.
I know that Springer figure is a lot of people's favorites. Honestly, I would like the Sandstorm. I thought the Sandstorm looked really, really cool, and the fact that it would make him so much different than Springer, I would love that. But I missed out on that one. So
It's a good solid
Oh.
figure.
yeah.
Looks different enough.
Yeah. I also like I like VTOL stuff. I think those engines on the sides look really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right, it's my number 2. And and it's Unicron trilogy time with what I think is probably one of the best Optimus Prime figures ever. It is Cybertron Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
This is a big one, and he is amazing. Once again, a fire truck Optimus Prime. Do more of this. This is
Fire truck, sorta.
What
Yeah.
else is he?
He's got an awful lot of cannons to be a fire truck.
You have to. They're firefighters, Mike. You have to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
But I've said it multiple times in this episode. In all honesty, like the 2000s, like the early 2000s, some of the best figures we got. Solid, chunky, playable, and fun. This figure is a blast to transform. The cab becomes its own individual Optimus Prime, and then the rest of the truck just becomes what I can only describe as like an homage to like God Jinrai from Super God Master
Mhm.
Force, because he's got the
Mhm.
wings. all kinds of cannons. He's even got the bigger feet underneath. Like, it's so cool. Spring-loaded missiles on one, light up sound cannon on the other. And then, like, the figure has the ability to combine with Wing Saber and become, I forget what the actual name for it is. I think it's
Jet
just like,
Prime.
it might be Jet Prime. And he can combine with Leo Breaker and get Savage Claw mode while still wearing this backpack, because the arms can actually fold into the backpack to give you space to like put it on there. And it's such a cool figure. He's got a Matrix too. There's a
Wow.
Matrix in there. I can't open it while he's wearing the backpack. And faceplate gimmick. He can actually take his faceplate off if that's your thing. I don't know why it would be. Optimus Prime needs a faceplate. I've got all the hot takes in this episode.
Me too.
But no, again, a figure I got like within the past couple of years, but I have so much fun playing with this figure. It's so impressive looking. It's so much fun. Not super posable, but I think it just looks really, really good. We did get a recent version of it. It's garbage compared to this. That Galaxy Upgrade Prime is nothing compared to this. You go with the original. Also, technically a triple changer. He has a jet mode.
A garbage jet mode.
Crap. Oh, God. I have 3 of these, by the way.
Wow.
Okay. Let me explain. The first one I ever got was a Galaxy Force version, so it's the recolor that's like black and darker red.
Mm-hmm.
I bought off somebody off Reddit, and it was pretty much complete, but it was floppy and it needed like touching up with the paint. It was scratched. I then found an incomplete original one on eBay, spliced the two together, and got something mostly complete. And then somebody who lived near me was selling an absolutely 100% complete one for $50.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I said, yes, give me. So now I have one complete one that's wearing Wing Saber, and another one that's in the box because I don't know what to do with it now.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I love this figure so much. I honestly, one of my favorite Optimus Prime designs is this in the RAD 2001 version. They're so cool.
It is a good solid figure, and I'll say that like everything about it holds up over time. So even like 20 years later, it's still like all the joints are still solid. Everything is like it's not going to wear out. It's not going to like decay or anything like that. It's like because the one that I sold like just this year, it was still solid.
Everything's
Still
ratchet
perfect.
joints.
Yeah.
Like the shoulders, the elbows, the hips, the knees, everything's a ratchet joint on it. So it's super solid and not a hollow bit in sight. It's like I don't know what was wrong with that first one I got that it was so hollow. I think a ratchet broke somewhere in it. But it's
at least an Ironhide didn't break.
True.
I just like that your favorite figure that you picked was one that wasn't the traditional truck. You know, he's a fire truck, you know, and I think that's really cool that these Optimus, fire truck with guns. But you know, I just think these unique versions of Optimus Prime where he's not just like a truck, like a hauling truck, are better. Like, and they should go in that direction with doing things where it's like he's a fire truck or he's like a Cybertronian car, or, you know, or whatever. Like, no, like, why does he always have to be a truck?
And I might get flack for this. I'm a G1 guy. Like I grew up, I was born in 86. The movie is like my favorite movie ever. But I honestly think like the mid to late 90s into the like late 2000s, we got some of the best stuff ever because they didn't G1 everything. They went in interesting directions. Like, say what you will about the Armada cartoon, but some of those toys are a lot of fun. And some of the designs are really cool. Energon's garbage, but I mean, you still got some cool toys out of it. And Cybertron, the other thing I forgot to say is, this is exactly what he looked like in the show. Yes. This is like screen accurate, and almost all the toys in that series like were this in the show. And it's so cool to have a figure that you're like, that's him in the TV. That
Mhm.
doesn't happen in G1,
No.
Certainly not.
especially if you have an Ironhide or a Ratchet.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love that stuff. I would like to see different interpretations. I don't need to see a Mack Truck Optimus Prime who sounds like Peter Cullen all the time. Please, please stop. I'm so
Yes.
tired of it.
Yes.
Something different. Not that there's anything
Mhm.
wrong with it.
Yeah.
Peter Cullen's great, and like it's a classic Optimus Prime design, but let's do something a little different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good points.
Sorry, I
All right.
ranted there for a bit.
No, it's good. We like rants. Yeah, so my number one figure is from the Thrilling 30s line as well. It is the Takara Tomy version of Starscream, and this is his,
Ooh.
Armada design. This is based off the Armada design, but I love this figure. I bought this used at a local toy store. And he's like in mint condition, like no yellowing, like which is
Nice.
impressive. The
That's
plastic's super solid on him, and I just love his colors. And he has light piping in his eyes, and then here he does have hollowness, which is the one thing where it's like, but it's part of his transformation, for into his alt mode. But
Right.
like this is just such a cool figure. Like I think this looks better. I don't have it yet, the Legends Armada Starscream, but I
Mhm.
still think this looks better than that one. Like I just love the colors. Like, and it's just a cool version of Starscream, like where he's not the traditional F-15 jet, he's a different type of jet, which is really cool. I have in comparison the Hasbro version.
oh god.
So yeah, like it's like night and
Ugh.
day with the colors. Like it's just like this is amazing. Like this is okay, but this
No,
Hasbro's
one's
that's
looking a
just
bit Dayglow
beautiful.
right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't know, like, I kind of miss that they used to do these different versions, like the Takara Tomy had the different colors. I know they're not doing that anymore, but I
that's
this one's just really special to me. So
that's
It is.
really really good looking.
It is.
Wow.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's in really good shape. Like there's nothing that's really loose on him or anything. So hoping I can keep him looking this nice. But
Keep him out of the sun.
yeah, I know
Well,
he might be
yeah, I was
living
gonna
in a
say
box for a while.
the sun is his enemy. We
Yeah,
don't know what the newer stuff's enemy is necessarily yet.
yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite. So
And
So
you know what, Apollo? I am not a Starscream fan, but I like that Starscream design. That is
thank
actually
you.
my favorite version of him, both in character and like toy design. I think that is such a cool Starscream figure.
Thank
it
you. Yeah,
absolutely is.
I I love his Armada character, and like even the Armada toy, the original one's super cool, and I think he fires missiles and stuff, and
He's
that
got those
one's
big
really cool.
flip up cannons when you attach the
Mhm.
minicon, and his wing
Mhm.
becomes a sword, which is it was so
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
Armada was cool. There, I said it.
Mhm. Yes.
See, I had like on that figure, I actually really, really liked that you had some options with the transformation. So if you didn't want to have like the missiles and engines like straight up, you could pivot it and like have it
Mhm.
just like standing straight up on the back. I
Yeah.
love it when transformations do that. They give you like options
Mhm.
Mhm.
because I like. Don't get me wrong, I like the character, I like the design. I did not like the giant missile thing sticking out of his back. That
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But, like, every time I had that figure, I even got the Draxus, like, repaint that they did,
Ooh.
for that
Mhm.
figure. I always have just the missiles whoop, straight up and down on his
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
But I will definitely say that the color on the Takara one is worlds better
Oh
than
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Hasbro one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I,
Yeah.
when you were showing it off, I was like, that looks really good. Was the Hasbro one that much worse? Then I'm like, wow,
Yes.
this is amazing. And yes, it is. It's that
Yeah.
much worse. Wow.
Yeah, and it's really weird because the plastic feels different too in quality. Like the Takara Tomy one just feels like it's a sturdier plastic too, which is really weird. So
Hmm. they didn't use like different factories or anything, right? I mean, imagine they
Um,
It
use the same.
I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. It just feels like
it might
different.
just be the fact that I think the whole thing is painted because I
That could
know
work.
that was like I know when they because I was paying the most attention to that during Titan's Return, and a lot of
Mhm.
people were saying that those figures like were painted so much compared to what we were getting that
Mhm.
Hmm.
it was almost a difference in quality. So it might be just the fact that it's painted.
Yeah, it just seems like this
Interesting.
plastic, like on the arms, like is a different plastic than this one here. Like it's like a kind of translucent plastic,
Yeah,
but maybe it is because this is painted. It just makes it feel different too. So
might be.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, I think we got time for maybe one more. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at our one-off favorite third-party figures? Now, the third-party figures, honestly, there's such a wide range, so there's no real rules for this. If you want to go for like a knockoff, fine, go for it. You want to do for like a third party, go for it. Like, whatever, sky's the limit on this one. But I got
yay.
something that I want to show on this, and it is my favorite third party figure. And it was a tough decision because there was a couple I was looking at. I looked at the Make Toys Jetfire, the one that looks like the Quinjet. That
Ooh,
was on my
yeah.
short list for it. I love that
Mhm.
one. The Planet X Star Saber, one of my favorite figures. Like that one's a
Mhm.
good, solid one. Perfect Effects Warden. That was like but when I first got that one, it was like my favorite third party figure ever, and it was just this is amazing, big, beefy, chunky, and everything. But after considering everything, and considering the fact that even though Warden is an amazing figure, he turns into a head, which isn't exactly the funnest thing in the world. I had to pick this big beefy guy right here, and this is Make Toys Thunder Menace. That is the Power Master Prime figure that they did in the Cross Dimension line. That is with the Divine Armor set that was released afterwards. So this is effectively a third party God Jinrai figure, and it is just all kinds of chunk, all kinds of
Mhm.
beefiness.
Oh, I'm so jealous because I love Power Master Prime and I don't have that one. Oh, it's so cool looking.
I
It
like the
is,
chrome on there. That's really cool.
yeah, yeah. He's got chrome chest plate
Mhm.
and chromed like shin plates too.
Ooh,
It's just
cool.
The sword is it's not sword's not chrome, but it's got that kind of like metallic sheen to it. There's a lot of stuff on here that has that metallic sheen that just
Mhm.
adds a lot to the figure. There's plenty of places to pop all the accessories on there, and this is such a small little detail. Let's see if I can actually get it to focus on here. But the little
Ooh.
double blaster guns on here are molded in such a way that it looks like the base is rotating because of where they sculpted in like the
oh,
circular part of it.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just and it's really apparent too, like if you are in the Power Master Prime mode and you attach it to the shoulder up there with like the
Mhm.
little gear elements on the side, it does look like it's just rotating. It's really, really awesome.
Oh god.
Wow, that's really cool.
And
Yes.
Make Toys is I'm still gonna say is a good company and they make some solid stuff that's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I have a lot of their figures.
Make
Mhm.
Toys is certainly I think the what the yeah, the company that I have the most of. I did start off with Fans Project on that, and I got pretty much all of their stuff until they started doing like a lot of combiner stuff, and then I think I lost my job at some point when they had started releasing figures. Yeah, it was when the Rodimus came out. Like I had just lost my
Mm.
job and I couldn't afford it, and then it kind of just spiraled down from there. I was like, all right, didn't get that, not gonna get
Oh
the
wait,
next one
wait.
then.
Do you mean Fans Toys?
No, Fans Project.
Did Fans Project oh, I'm sorry. They did do the Rodimus upgrade set. I was like,
Mhm.
when
Yep.
did they do a Rodimus? But yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yep. They did a bunch of little accessory packs first, then they did the City Commander add-on for Ultra Magnus. Then they
Yep.
started doing their own unique stuff.
I only have one of their figures. I have their 6 Knight because
Oh.
no one else has ever done a 6 Knight. And I need him for the Master Force collection. So,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
well, Mike, I got to go down to the floor for this one, but it's a nice kind of sequel to yours because, as I said, I love Power Master Prime.
Here we go.
Sweet Lord,
You and Jeremy
Oh
both
my
got
gosh.
the holy hell. What do you got over there?
Whoa. Who
this
is
is
this?
Fans Hobbies Power Baser
All
with,
right.
with
All
the
right.
God Armor. So this
Wow.
is Power Master Optimus Prime / God Jinrai,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Okay.
I love this. Power Master Prime is my favorite version of Optimus Prime. I have the G1 version. I've tried to get every version I can. Um, the Make Toys one is the one that has eluded me,
Mm-hmm.
but this figure is gigantic and it is amazing. It is so much fun. It has all of the gimmicks you want out of a Power Master Prime. And do you know what else it has that no other third-party figure has that I've seen?
What's that?
A spring-loaded missile launcher.
Ooh.
Wait, the big thing on top is
Yes, it
spring-loaded?
fires a missile. And it has a
Wow.
safety on it so you can lock it because the missile is like that big around and it's just this giant cylinder that fires out and it's also stupid powerful.
Wow.
But yeah,
All right. All right.
so once again, basically 2 figures because I don't think the Make Toys Divine Armor combined into God Bomber.
It did not. They did release one after the fact. They released a separate figure that became it, but the initial armor set they did was just an armor set, and it turned to the armor and then the secondary trailer. But you are
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, this one it was 2 separate figures because Power Baser is the Power Master Prime, and then all the armor was the God Bomber. So he does turn into the actual figure, plus the secondary trailer, plus the armor. But it's just it is posable. Like it's got all the posing you could want, ankle tilt, ratcheted limbs everywhere. It's just like what are you gonna pose him doing? He just stands there. He just stands there and looks menacing. Dual wielding swords, giant cannons, and I don't know if you can see it. In the cockpit are the 3 Headmaster Juniors
Oh, cool.
who
Yeah,
ride
I
in
can
them.
see
Are they
them.
separate figures or are they
They
like?
came with God Bomber
Oh.
All right.
because I
All
actually
right.
have the Fans Hobby Headmaster Juniors, but it also just came with a set so they can all sit in there.
Huh.
Wow.
But and
Mine does not. Mine is solid.
Oh.
but yours is also like I would argue yours is almost more chug scale.
Yep.
Where this is like masterpiece scale because the actual like Optimus Prime figure that's in here, not the Power Master Prime, but just the cab, is
Mm-hmm.
the same height as MP10.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. I would not have believed it, but I transformed it, sat next to it, and it's like, oh, it is.
Hmm.
But this is my favorite third party piece I have. It sits at the very top of all of my Optimus Primes, dead center, just like look at this magnificent thing. It's also really fun to transform. I actually like disassembling it, doing the different forms of it and everything. It's a lot of fun to play with. It is because it's so big, it's not very panel heavy, it's not super intricate, but it does a lot of really cool things. And I love it so much. I love Fans Hobby. They may actually be my favorite company right now.
Wow.
So
I like the details like on his wings and stuff too. And
yeah,
as you said, like the cockpit and his chest plate, that's like really cool.
and there's all kinds of like cool like tampograph details and like
Mm-hmm.
stickers to make it look more
Yeah.
mechanical. Love it.
Yeah.
I love the detail in it. But at the same time, it's not like super greebly where it's got too much detail in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I do like the chrome on the Make Toys one a lot better. This is not nearly as chrome. He's got chrome thighs and that's about it. So
Shiny thighs.
shiny thighs. I have to put him down. He's very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine there's a lot of metal in that.
There is a
like
lot of
all the
die
third
cast metal in that.
party.
He is
Yeah.
very solid.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's a really cool pick.
But
All
that was
right.
my
So my third party pick is the Mastermind Creations Eris Coulter. So this is the female
Awesome.
Tarn, and this is the first issue of it because they re-released her. And I think the only difference is like some of the coloring, and she has purple lipstick, like she's got pink lipstick. But I really like this figure. I like Mastermind Creation stuff. There is die cast in her. She's not completely die cast, like her legs are die cast. So I think that helps counterbalance like her backpack. And I think the backpack's actually supposed to be like this, but whatever. Like I just grabbed her out of the box today. But what's really cool is because everything was packed still. Like I love the details, like her treads are like little individual treads. And like it's just really cool in her alt mode where she can like you can just like roll her along like on the table.
It actually
Um
it treads, like the whole thing rolls.
yes.
Oh,
Like
that's
I don't
awesome.
know if you
That's
can
really
see. Let me see if I can try to show this. Like I don't know if you can see that. They're like
Yeah,
That's
all
cool.
individual. So
that is
that's
awesome.
yeah, so that's really cool. Her fingers are all individual. So you can do a lot of different articulation with her hands and having her hold different things, which is really neat. You know, you have to just make sure they don't pop off because I have a
Right.
few, it hasn't happened to me yet, but I know it will. But I just think she's really cool. She's a lot of fun. I think it's a fun version of Tarn, or you know, some people speculate that this is supposed to be she's supposed to be a version of Deathsaurus's wife, and I forget that character's name just because like she kind of has the kitty ears.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
it's Leo Zach's sister. Oh crap. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But like, yeah, so like I've seen speculation where some people think that she's supposed to be that character, and I don't know her name, but yeah, like I like this a lot. You know, I think third party, you know, does some really cool things with Transformers inspired figures. So you know, and I like Mastermind Creations, and I have some of their other stuff. I think this is worlds better than their original Tarn figure, though. Coulter, though, like, because I think that was like one of their earlier figures. So, um, but yeah, this is Eris, and yeah, so that is
That
my
is just
favorite third party figure.
It's Esmerelle. That is Deathsaurus's wife. Lyzak is Leo Zach's sister. I got
Oh,
the
okay.
two
huh.
conflated, but yeah.
That is just a solid figure though, and it's really nicely designed, and yeah. I don't have a ton from Mastermind. I think I have the Nova Prime they did. I think that's it.
I have one Ocular Max figure, which is the same company, isn't it?
I think, yeah,
Maybe.
that is, yeah.
Yeah. I have their Star Convoy, which it's all right. It's all
Mm-hmm.
right. But I want that Eris Coulter, and I missed the initial run, and now I know the second run's there, and I'm like, do I want to do it? I don't. It doesn't have to go in my collection. Like there's no spot that it would necessarily fit into, but at the same time, it's like it's such a good looking figure. It's super posable, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
nice female character that isn't just wearing her alt mode on her back.
Yes.
She actually
Yes.
transforms. So
Yeah, and she has like the gimmicks, you know, and I know you're a big gimmicks fan, so with like the treads. So I highly recommend getting one, you know, if you're interested, because yeah, she's super posable and just a lot of fun.
I may have to. I may just have to. We'll see what happens once we're done recording and what I end up doing.
Yeah.
But
Got to get all that Christmas money going, right?
Mhm.
no one else is buying pants Transformers for Christmas. He's got to do it on his own.
Oh,
No one knows what to get me because I
yeah.
get it all myself.
Yep.
All right. And with that, I think that takes us to the end of this show. Thank you all for joining us for our nice little top 5 or top 6, technically, figures that we have. Any closing words here, Dr. Pants?
Make Optimus Prime not a hauler truck anymore. More fire trucks.
Fair enough. How about you, Apollo?
I'd say this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And but it was a lot of fun going through our collections and picking, our top 5, and it was really cool doing that.
Wasn't an easy task, I know, right? I
No.
I had the top 2, like, already, like, set and, like, I knew what they were, but then I had to think about it. What are the other ones?
I I got the top 5 pretty quick, but then I'm looking around, I'm like, but should it be this one? Should I have gone with the G1 figure?
Yes.
Should I have gone with a more recent figure that people would say
Mhm.
is better? And it's like, no, this is my top 5.
Yes.
You want to complain? Do it in the comments.
Yes.
Or send all complaints to Daryl at transmissionspodcast.com.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you back on Transmissions. Bye, all.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.